2026 may be the last year that we see Medicaid operate in its current form. So let's talk about exactly where Medicaid money comes from. So Medicaid is a cost that's split between the state and the federal government. And so essentially what happens is the state will absorb all the costs up front. It will balance the budgets, and the federal government will basically reimburse the states or match the states for the amount of money that they spent on Medicaid. And so essentially how they do that is through what's called FMAP, the Federal Medical Assistance Percentage. And that is a percentage that is based on the state's per capita income. So essentially what that means is richer states will get less of a percentage, poorer states will get more of a percentage. And basically what that does is it allows for the federal government to say, okay, you're spending this much, we will match you with this much. And so the reason they have to do this is because Medicaid is what's considered an open-ended entitlement. And what that means is there's no cap to spending. They don't cap how much they're going to spend. The federal government doesn't say we're going to spend $300 billion on Medicaid this year. It's completely open-ended. And so they basically pay how much the states are paying themselves, and they match that based off that FMAP percentage. Um, and so essentially, what the federal government does is it can control who has access to Medicaid. So they can say what the requirements are, the work requirements, the income requirements, how often Medicaid eligibility is occurring. They can say what services are covered under Medicaid, and they can also dictate how much they're going to actually match the states for Medicaid. And so they use these different levers and maneuvers to essentially, cut down costs. And that's something that we're going to start seeing, especially in 2027. We're going to see all those maneuvers that occurred that are present in the Big Beautiful Bill. We're going to see how those come into effect and how those affect state budgets. And so that's essentially just a quick rundown of how Medicaid occurs. Basically, where the money comes from. It comes from the federal government, but the state government absorbs it up front, and the government will match them based off the state's per capita income. And yeah.